Guys, no joke, spoiler alert, never have I been wrecked so ridiculously on Dueling Book, I don't think, and never have I been more happy about it. This guy plays this deck, the Heavy Metal Foes deck, so well, or at least well enough, like, don't get me wrong, I'm playing a tinkering, I'm testing King of the Skull Servants, with Servants of the Fallen King, but like, this is how I think Heavy Metal Boys should always have been played. Like, you can't always sit on the Blast Sphere and wait. The guy goes in immediately, swings over the zombie. I get the thing. He doesn't care. He summons Barrel Dragon and swings in for 26. Alright, and that's basically the tempo of this whole duel. This guy is ruthless as hell, and I know it's my other account, so I'm probably talking about me. Alright, let's talk about Heavy Metal Boys, alright? Alright, first off, we're playing King of the Skull Servants, and we are dumping regular Skull Servants, so it kind of pumps them up quickly. This mother effer, Heavy Metal Raiders, the first time a machine monster be destroyed by battle, it's not destroyed, and it gains the attack from the battle. So Blast Sphere is already big, and Barrel Dragon's gonna start by doing its thing, which is flipping coins and seeing if we can free pop stuff. This, unfortunately, didn't go through, but that's fine. 7 completed, we were playing it in here thinking we needed it to get the boost off starting. We realized it doesn't matter. So we have this thing, which is already huge. Barrel Dragon's going to swing in. We're going to take the 200 and pop Pyramid, which we would have popped Pyramid if Peril went off. But we're just sitting ducks at this point. I didn't think the matchup was going to be so one-sided. I was wrong. This is really cool. Barrel Dragon actually gets to pop the thing. Our Zombina will bring it back, and they summon another Barrel Dragon. So they'll banish summon just to stay alive, essentially. But this game, oh my god. So if King dies by battle, you can banish a Skull Servant in the grave and summon it back. Oh, fantastic. We're losing our power that way. We're going to set Skull Servant and Spellbinding. So main phase, they're going to flip for Barrel Dragon. It's a Tails. It's a Tails. So the first one doesn't go off. But guess what? Now they have 2 on the field. So second Barrel Dragon goes off. It's a Heads. And it's a Tails. And oh my god, what could it be? Oh, it's a Heads. So King goes bye-bye, even though I guess it didn't matter. There were no Skull Servants left in the deck. Or the graveyard. But they're going to swing into the other one. They're going to swing directly. We're going to Spellbinding it. And they're going to swing for game with Blast Sphere. And that was really disgusting. So we side, hoping to deal with this a little bit easier. We're siding all the Dust Tornadoes to deal with that field spell. Go figure, we didn't draw any of them. And we draw Skull Servant, which is really annoying when you're playing Servants of the Fallen King to try to dump the Skull Servant as fast as possible. Servant says you can, once per turn, send a normal level 3 or lower zombie from your deck to the graveyard. Unfortunately, it has to be a normal, so you can't send King of the Skull Servants, which is really annoying. So they're going to set here, which we assume one or both to be Blast Sphere. So we're going to set another King. We're just going to set as well, because we kind of got to play around their Blast Spheres, which is actually insane. Like, the deck could already function as a huge... Like, we saw it be super aggressive game 1. It can be super lax to this game and still control the game. So we have 3 Skull Servants. Awesome. We're going to set Zombina. The way we're looking at this is until we draw Dust Tornado, we can't just sit on our hands until we do that. And they Night Beam, go figure. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to have the Zombina that's on the field and Zombina in hand swing into Koichi. That way Koichi won't gain attack after the first battle. The field spell keeps the machines from dying by battle on their field once per turn. And then they gain attack equal to the difference of the battle. Which is ridiculous. It just pumps... As long as this deck has the field spell up, it's literally a force to be reckoned with. And it's probably one of the strongest things I've seen in the game thus far. If you can keep the field spell up. That is the one stipulation. So Zombie swings into the first Blast Sphere. We're going to draw, standby Blast Sphere, pops it. We take 11. Great. We're going to search our third and final King of the Skull Servant, so we have all 3. This mother effer is at 3,000, and we're going to swing. And I don't know why I swung. That was a huge misplay. We had 2,900 life, and that thing is at 3,000, and Blast Sphere inflicts the damage it had when it was destroyed, not its original. So We're a little bit smarter, hopefully. We're going to swing into the ally. Now it goes up to essentially 3,000. We're going to try to crash, but they sphere Karibo. As if this deck didn't have enough defense. They sphere Karibo. So they're going to try to swing into ours. We're going to Spellbinding Circle it. We're going to summon a third king, and this was a big misplay, guys, and I'll show you why in a second. We Dust Tornado that. We finally get it off the field. They lose these as the attack boost. We finally think we're in the driver's seat. We're going to swing into that thing, and then we realize if that's a Blast Sphere, we lose, so we're going to pass. And that's where I wish I didn't summon the third king. Yeah, it's cool to summon 3,000 beat sticks, but should have summoned the Goblin Zombie to swing into its defense, because if it was, at least we'd only be taking 11 as opposed to enough for game. So now we're stuck on third king of the Skull Servants, and they can play this defensive game where they just set a bunch of cards. And we're still stuck. And the thing is, like, we have 3 cards left in deck, they have 8. So they can deck us out. They also, and this is it, they play Magician of Faith, and that because Jar of Avarice, that was ruled that you can't add skills to the deck, so Magician of Faith gets back the field spell, and it doesn't let us put it on the field, which was annoying, so we play it in the spell and trap zone, but it's back, and now the deck can just function as it normally does. So like we attack this, it doesn't die once per turn. We attack it again, sure, but we're wasting 2 attacks on one thing. Now we're kind of going in because we have to, because we have 2 cards left in deck. We're going to lose anyway. And we set Dust Tornado, and they end phase Dust Tornado, our Dust Tornado, and now it's real crap. Because we were going to just keep it for a Blast Sphere, and now it doesn't matter. So the 2 attack into that, finally kill it the second time. Go figure, this is the Blast Sphere. We don't have the Dust Tornado for it anymore. They could just essentially pass. We draw the last card in our deck. Doesn't matter. We don't have the out to it. If we had it, it might have been game. I'm not even sure it would have been, but either way, that deck... Oh my god, let's talk about this for a second. Like, no joke, we're gonna go into this list before we go into the other list because I'm just amazed. So he plays 2 Pendulum Machine, which I thought was very interesting. Yes, I understand it's my other account, but I have other people play on my other account so that we can just have a good old time. 2 Pendulum Machine, I'll explain why in a second. 2 Barrel Dragon, 3 Dekoichi, 3 Ally of Justice Core Destroyer, 3 Blast Sphere, 3 Sphere Karibo, 1 Magician of Faith, 2 7 completed and 1 half shut. Side deck consisting of double Night Beam, double Heat Wave, and double Dust Tornado. Like, I think this is really cool. Me and my friend both worked on this together. So let me explain some of the card choices. Pendulum Machine, first off, is a 1 tribute 1750 machine monster. That's terrible, except when you have the field spell on the field, and it just summons something that's not... weak. Every machine in this deck is weak outside of Barrel Dragon, and Pendulum Machine's not the biggest, but 1750 is pretty good right now, and we kind of essentially climb the ladder. If we can summon a Pendulum Machine off the first attack, and Pendulum can then summon a Barrel Dragon off a future attack, if we didn't have the Barrel Dragon previously. But also the upside of Pendulum Machine is it's a 1 tribute, so if you are in a situation where you're just holding on to defenses, because they don't die once per turn, you summon Pendulum Machine to get over something. Hopefully, if it doesn't, it gains the attack difference, and you're not taking nearly as much life points as you would if one of your weaker things attacked, and then essentially kill something and summon something else. It's a good reason to play. It's like a ladder, essentially, in this deck. And I don't think it was actually necessary at 2, so I think since then we've probably cut it to 1. You could play 3 Barrel Dragon instead, and that's really heavy, but of course you can brick on 3 Barrel Dragon, that's really annoying. But I guess the same could be said about Pendulum Machine and Barrel Dragon if you open them both. Dekoichi's just standard, it draws you a card, it's 1400, it's a dark machine, so it works with all of everything. Core Destroyer is something you don't have to play 3 of, but we just figure let's max out on the machines, so we can see the dark machines, plus Core Destroyer battles a light monster, it automatically pops it, which is cute against Blue Eyes, among a few other things. Blast Sphere is a bit... Blast Sphere is annoying. Blast Sphere is the deck's defensive play, but also can be offensive play like you saw game 1. Sphere Karibo is huge in here. You're not playing back row, and if you do, it's very minute, so like I like this a lot when they think they have you, and like they swing into your one thing and it doesn't die once returned by battle, and then they swing into again to either crash it or just kill it and you Sphere Karibo. There's no other feeling in the world that's more satisfying than that. We play the 1 Magician of Faith to get back our field spell. Among other spells in this deck, if we needed to, it's really good getting the side deck skills or spells back. The 7 completeds were in here just as an idea to, if your monsters aren't big enough, you can make them big enough. But it is a 2-card combo rather than a 1-card combo. moving forward, I'm not really sure where we're going to go with this. We might cut it. We might play one. I don't know. It's a cute little idea, but I don't think it was as necessary as we thought it was going to be. And then the one half shot's kind of the same purpose. If your field spell gets destroyed and you want to keep your thing alive, there's half shot. But also, half shot has this extra ability where if you have the field spell up and you cut something your opponent has in half, or it caught one of your monsters, let's say, in half, and you're going to take more damage, but that monster will gain more attack, it's really good because then your boy is real big and it can get over almost anything. But also, you can just beat face. You can keep Barrel Dragon alive from battle once per turn if you want to use its effect the following. Like, it's just really cool. I don't know if we'll play it again. It was nice, but it wasn't as clutch as we thought it would be. The Night Beam and Dust Tornado I feel like are self-explanatory. The Heat Wave is not. The Heat Wave, this was my idea. I thought this was a really cool idea to side this against a matchup where they're going to beat face a lot and you want to slow them down, because this deck can set defenses all day and not care. Between Blast Sphere and the field spell just not having your stuff die by battle once per turn, you can Heat Wave, set a monster under it, and your opponent's locked their following turn to whatever they do. And if they set a monster, it makes it easier for you to then kill the monster with the field spell up and then summon something else for free and just get ahead of the game as fast as possible. Also, Pendulum Machine's a normal monster, so on the offset chance you have that with Heat Wave, you can still summon that. But that wasn't really the point. The point was you can play under Heat Wave by just setting stuff in this deck and not really care, and just put your opponent a turn behind, or like a play or two behind, that just ends up sealing the game for you. So that's why we're playing that. I really like this deck. I think this deck has a huge amount of potential. The one huge downside is if they pop your field spell, you're kind of SOL until you get the field spell back, unless you have some backup plan, which is usually just Battle Sphere, or Blast Sphere, Jesus. But yeah, so it's got potential for sure. I think the Magician of Faith is solid, especially with Night Beam and Heat Wave in the side deck. You can do a lot of extra things with that, which I really like. And then moving on to the other deck, the zombie deck. I definitely know this needs work, guys. I want you guys to tell me in the comments down below what I need to do, because I feel like this deck's more of a lost cause than a lot of other ones. But it's 3 Skull Servant, 3 King of the Skull Servant, 3 Goblin Zombie, 2 Zombina, 2 Pyramid of Wonders, 2 Book of Life, which probably was too much going forward, 2 Half Shut, and 3 Spellbinding Circle. The Half Shut's just so you can keep your thing alive if it gets switched to the defense or something. And then you don't have to worry about banishing Skull Servants to keep it there. Zombina brings it back. Goblin Zombie searches your kings, and you play Servants of the Fallen King to dump the regular one. You could also alternatively play Viral Infection, but if you don't draw the Skull Servants early, it's kind of slow. Pyramid of Wonders keeps it alive as well and also boosts its attack. Book of Life brings it back, as well as banishing a monster from opponent's grave. Unfortunately, we had that one game, but we couldn't use it because they didn't have a monster in the grave. We never got that far. Double Half Shut, like I said, it's triple Spellbinding Circle just to slow your opponent down. And if they get locked on Spellbinding Circle, it's really nice because you can just kind of fuel up your grave and then beat face with a huge King of the Skull Servants. Side deck, we play 2 Spheric Kuriboh just because if they side in more back row hate, we have that as a backup play. 2 Night Beam, 2 Dust Tornado is pretty standard. I know this deck's not nearly as fundamentally interesting as the other one, and I know zombies have been getting a lot of support as of late, both in this type of stuff and in skills, but the thing with skills is you can only play 1 skill, so I just wanted to try Servants of the Fallen King. I'm not a huge fan. It doesn't do enough for the deck. Unless I'm playing this completely wrong, and let me know if I am down below. But as always, guys, comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Yugi Bros. Heavy metal, man, heavy metal. That's a promising deck for sure. I'll see you guys later. Peace.